Hello, 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 and how are you? I'm fine, and I hope that you are too. Hola, 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 y cómo estás? Muy bien, y espero que tú también. Hello, Orange Room friends. I have with me all of your people that you guys made. And so there's a lot of them. And do you know why? Because you're home at your home and I'm home at my home. But do you know what? We have two Orange Room classes up here, the morning class and the afternoon class. So I have to introduce you because you haven't met. So let's all say hello to Bella and Carolyn and Clara and Emily and Ilan and Jasper and Jet and Juliana and Maya and Nick and Nora and Kareen and Mariana and Santiago and Seamus and William. They're all in the morning class. And also let's say hello to Ari and Ariane and Ben and Desmond and Iman and Eva and Henry and Caitlin and Madison and Maeve and Micah and Lucy and Olivia and Sadie and Vicky. And they're all in the afternoon Orange Room class. You know because you share cubbies with them, but that's the pictures that you guys made of your little people for our classroom. So now we are going to use this on the other side. No, look, it's our calendar. So we have to figure out what day it is. It's very weird to keep track of all these days in our new way of being at our houses, isn't it? So you may have noticed that Anne has the calendar at her house from school, but I don't have that one. I have this one that I made. So it is the month of March, and let's figure out what day it is. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I think I raised my hand on Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Okay. So we've had a lot of days. Let's count them all in March. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. What comes after 23? What comes after 3? 4 comes after 3. So how about 24? Kiss your brain if you were thinking 24. And that's a lot of numbers. So we've gotten really far into this month. So let's see what our pattern is. A pattern is something that repeats. So we have pink, pink, yellow, purple. 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 Pink, pink, yellow. Is it purple? It's purple, people. It's purple and it's 24. We've had 24 days of March so far. Wow. All right, Orange Room friends. We know our calendar. Now, we're going to do a little mystery bag. And I have brought a mystery bag. I don't have our mystery bags at home, but I have this bag that one of my classes gave to me, and they put their handprints all over it with their names. So I'm going to use that because it's very cherry-like. So can you help me sing? Oh, wait. Put your thinking caps on. Put your listening ears on. And put your looking eyes on. What's in the mystery bag? Who can tell? Maybe a pencil, maybe a bell. What's in the mystery bag? We can't see. It's a surprise for you and me. So let's see. Is it big or little? Well, it's kind of big. It's kind of big, but it's not so thick, is it? I can hold it in my little hand there, right? Okay, so is it hard or soft? You're going to have to listen here. That sounds kind of hard, doesn't it? Okay. So it's hard and it's kind of long. So this, clue number 1, it's brown and it's found outside. What's brown and found outside? See, well, there's mud. That's brown. That's found outside. And dirt. That's brown. That's found outside. But it's not mud or dirt. Let's see. Let's go with clue number 2. Clue number 2. It's part of a tree or a bush. Well, leaves are part of a tree or a bush. And like flowers or fruit could be part of a tree or a bush. It's not those things though. Clue number 3. Are you ready? It has leaves or flowers on it. So let me get this straight. It's brown and you find it outside. It's part of a tree or a bush. And it has the leaves or the flowers on it. And it's shaped kind of like this. What could it be? Is it a stick? Let's look. Oh my goodness, friends. It is a stick. It's actually a stick from my hydrangea bush. And it had fallen off and it was laying in my yard. And so I picked it up and I brought it inside to show you. And this one is kind of interesting because on the outside of this bark is brown. But on the inside, there's a little piece of the outside skin of the bark falling off. You can see this little bark sort of falling away here. And it's green on the inside. Very interesting. So we're going to hold on to this. Remember that I have these for something later that we do, all right? So now I'm going to read you a story. So let's put our listening ears on. Let's see if you can remember this story. Or listen to this story. It's called, excuse me, Extra Yarn, and it's written by Mac Barnett, and it's illustrated by John Klassen. And hold on one second, I'm going to get some water. Okay, sorry about that. So the illustrator is John Klassen. That's the person who made the pictures. So on a cold afternoon, let's see if you can see this here. In a cold little town where everywhere you looked was either the white of snow or the black of soot from chimneys, Annabelle found a box filled with yarn of every color. Look at that little box. So she went home and knitted herself a jumper. That's a jumper right there. And when Annabelle was done, she had some extra yarn. So she knitted a jumper for Mars too. But there was still extra yarn. Okay, look at the size of this little box. But there was all that yarn in it. And there's still more. Very interesting. And when Annabelle and Mars went for a walk, Luke pointed and laughed and said, "You two look ridiculous." "You're just jealous," said Annabelle. Jealous means he wishes he could have it too. "No, I'm not," said Luke. Look at his face. And look at his dog right there. But it turns out he was jealous. What did she make him? And even after she'd made a jumper for Luke and his dog and for herself and for Mars, she still had extra yarn. At school, Annabelle's classmates could not stop talking about her jumper. "Quiet," shouted Mr. Norman. "Quiet, everyone. Annabelle, that jumper of yours is terribly distracting. I cannot teach with everyone turning around to look at you." "Then I'll knit one for everyone," Annabelle said. "So they won't have to turn around." "Impossible," said Mr. Norman. "You can't." Do you think she can? So, it turned out she could. And she did, even for Mr. Norman. And when she was done, Annabelle, in that little box, still had extra yarn. So she knitted jumpers for her mom and dad, and for Mr. Pendleton, and Mrs. Pendleton, and Dr. Palmer, and for little Louis. She made jumpers for everyone except Mr. Crabtree, who never wore jumpers or even trousers, and who would stand in his shorts with the snow up to his knees. "No jumper for me, thanks," said Mr. Crabtree. So she made Mr. Crabtree a hat, and even then, Annabelle still had extra yarn. She made jumpers for all the dogs and all the cats, and for other animals too. Some people thought soon Annabelle would run out of yarn, but it turned out she didn't. So Annabelle made jumpers for things that didn't even wear jumpers. Look at the birdhouse and the mailbox and the house. That's so silly. Things began to change in that little town. Look, the whole town is covered in her yarn. News spread of this remarkable girl who never ran out of the yarn. And people came to visit from around the world to see all the jumpers and to shake Annabelle's hand. On one day, an archduke who was very fond of clothes sailed across the sea and demanded, that means he wanted to see Annabelle. He had to see her. "Little girl," said the archduke, "I would like to buy that miraculous box of yarn, and I'm willing to offer you $1 million. "No, thank you," said Annabelle, who was knitting a jumper for a pickup truck. Oh my goodness, she's covering the pickup truck in yarn, people. The archduke mustache twitched. $2 million, he said. Annabelle shook her head. "No, thanks." $10 million, shouted the archduke. "Take it or leave it." "Leave it," said Annabelle. "I won't sell the yarn." And she didn't. She's having fun, right? So that night, the archduke hired 3 robbers to break into Annabelle's house, and they stole the box, and they took it to the archduke, who set off across the snow and sailed over the sea back to his castle. The archduke put on his favorite song and sat in his best chair, and then he took out the box and he lifted its lid and looked inside. Okay, what do you think happened? Do you think there's yarn in there? Oh! Uh-oh. His mustache quivered. It shivered. It trembled. The archduke threw the box out the window and shouted, "Little girl, I curse you with my family's curse. You will never be happy again." That's kind of a mean thing to do, don't you think? Do you think it worked? Do you think she'll be happy again? These are little icebergs. Look, the box landed on that iceberg. It sailed all the way to, who is that? Is that Annabelle? What do you think's in the box now? It turned out she was happy again. So she's kind of magical because the yarn works for her. Look at this. Everybody's in the yarn. There's a magic box of yarn. So I have this box of yarn that I keep because I'm a knitter. I made this sweater that I'm wearing, and I'm making another sweater now. And this is going to be a black sweater. And I'm working, where does it work here? So I have to sew on, I have one sleeve on it over here. And I have to knit the other one on too. I'm not done with this one yet, but I'm working on it. So I have needles and I have my yarn, but I don't have a magic. Here's my yarn, it's in here. I keep it in this little bowl and then it spins out. I don't have a magic bowl of yarn. I had to go to the store and buy yarn. But I thought it'd be fun to pretend and be magical for a day. I think that's a good thing to do. So I thought we could make magic wands. So here's what I have for us. Remember that stick, all right? So I have some blue yarn, like this, and I have some tape. And I'm gonna put a piece of tape on the edge of this yarn. And I found a little tiny stick in my yard. And I'm gonna tape it to this. I'm gonna tape this yarn that's taped onto the stick, and then I'm gonna, let's see, I'm gonna try to wind it around the yarn. I'm gonna wind the yarn around and around and around and around and around the string. Around and around and around. I'm gonna just keep going around. And I'm twisting, I'm holding the part up here and I'm twisting the bottom part. Twisting and twisting, twisting and twisting. And then I can cut it off and I can have a grown-up help me tie it with a knot, and I could have a little special yarn, a magic wand. So that's one idea. And then I had this extra leftover yarn that I made a hat for my son. And it's kind of thick, and I thought I could take 2 sticks. I have a big stick and a little stick, and I could tape them together. Let's see if I could tape them together like a letter T, like the little letter T. See if I could tape them on so they stay together. I might use another piece of tape. I just have some masking tape. You could use any tape. I think it would work. And I mean, you could make any shape you want. I'm just doing the letter T, because then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this yarn and I'm going to put a piece of tape on the edge of this yarn. On the end of this yarn, I'm going to put tape on the end of this yarn, and then I'm going to tape it to the middle, and I'm going to wind it. So I taped it there, and I'm going to wind the yarn around the sticks, around and around it again. See if I can do this. And just keep going to give it a little design. I'm going around the 2 sticks. And this might be, I don't know if this is too hard to do or to see. You might want to ask like a big brother or sister if you have one, or like a parent. And you can make it so it has a little design. And then you could also cut this string off and tie it off on the bottom. And then you have a stick sort of with a little top part, a decoration. But you could like do anything. You could put paper on here, anything like that. You could cut that off and tie it off, and then you have a little magic wand that's used for fun, nice things. Or, this looks like a toilet paper roll. If you had an extra one in your house, I don't want you to go and wind all the toilet paper. That would be a disaster in your house. But if you have an extra paper towel roll, you could color it with your markers or your crayons or pencils and put a special design on it, and then you could have a teeny tiny little magic wand for playing pretend. Or if you had an extra paper towel roll, you could use that too, and you could color with markers or crayons. I started coloring this one with some markers, I think. Yeah. So those are some ideas for some wands that you could use. And, oh, I had another idea. If you don't have any paper towel rolls or any toilet paper rolls, or you can't get outside to get a stick, But if you have a piece of paper in your hand, who in the orange room has worked on the easel and rolled up a piece of paper? So you could roll up a piece of paper. Well, first, wait. You could color the piece of paper with your, the whole thing. You're gonna have to color the whole thing because when you roll it up, you wanna make sure you get the color showing no matter what. So you color the whole sheet of paper with whatever design you want on it. And I'm just doing this quick. So I'm gonna do purple all over it. I'm just coloring the whole thing purple all over. And then when I'm done, I can remember how I roll it, and you gotta make sure that side's out. I'm gonna roll it up. It doesn't have to be straight or perfect. And then I can find a piece of tape like we do. You can always ask your family to help you. And put it probably right in the middle would be the best, so it doesn't come apart. And then look, I have a magic wand. And maybe I can play pretend with that. So that was my idea for what you could do after we say goodbye. And Orange Room friends, I'm going to work on my sweater a little bit more and start knitting. But I'm going to think about you because I wonder what you're doing this afternoon. And all the fun things you could do with your family or by yourself. So we're going to sing the goodbye song. Goodbye, Orange Room in the morning. Goodbye, Orange Room in the afternoon. Goodbye, Cherry Preschool. We hope you have a good day. All right, Orange Room friends, I'll miss you. See you next time.